The Bureau of Land Management manages nearly 250 million acres of surface property and 700 million acres of subsurface estate in the nation. That equates to 10% of the nation's surface and nearly a third of its minerals and soils. We manage these lands under the dual mission of multiple use and sustained yield. The Bureau's work is now more complex than ever, and the professionals at the BLM have to make very difficult choices every day. But throughout that work, we make sure that the public has a very strong voice in the work that we do. More than 450,000 jobs were supported by the agency and the lands that we managed last year, and we are one of only a handful of agencies that returns more dollars than we receive in appropriations. In fact, for every dollar you appropriate here in Congress, we return 5. The BLM works diligently to fulfill its role in securing America's energy future by supporting the development of oil and gas resources on public and Indian lands. From 2008 to last year, oil production from those lands increased 81%. Now that increase has tracked or exceeded trends on comparable state and private lands. Now natural gas has gone down in recent years, but this too has generally tracked the rate of production on nearby private and state lands. Overall, in fiscal year 2014, onshore federal oil and gas royalties exceeded $3 billion and tribal royalties exceeded $1 billion. The BLM is proud to play a critical role in meeting the nation's energy needs, and with even more than 100,000 wells to monitor and oversee, we continue to make lands for oil and gas development available in excess of industry demand. Right now, the industry has roughly 34 million acres under lease, but it is only producing from a third of those lands. And last year, the BLM approved 4,400 drilling permits, and nearly a third of those permits went unused. In total, the industry now holds roughly 6,000 permits that are available for use today. With no further review, no further permitting, they're ready to go. That equates to roughly 2 years worth of drilling potential on public lands. We would like to see those permits used to bring American jobs and American energy forward. In supporting this energy development, our oil and gas program's highest priority is ensuring that the operations are safe and responsible. The hydraulic fracturing rule is critical to meeting that responsibility. Over 90% of the wells that are drilled on public lands are hydraulically fractured, using techniques that are significantly more complex than those of the past. Today's wells are often much deeper and coupled with advanced horizontal drilling techniques, which are quite incredible. While these technological advances and the tremendous increase in their use has facilitated greater access to oil and gas resources, it has also necessitated that the BLM revisit its existing rules, which were last updated over 30 years ago. The BLM's new rule establishes reasonable common sense standards requiring operators to construct sound wells, to disclose the chemicals they use, and to safely recover the wastewater that comes back from that drilling process. This rule establishes a baseline that many operators are comfortable with because they are, in many places, already implementing the practices that we have required. Our rule was informed by the technical expertise of our engineers in the field, as well as that of state regulators, Indian regulators, and industry. The final rule specifically recognizes the experience and expertise of our partners. And we have a track record at the BLM of working successfully with states and others to make sure that we avoid duplication and delay. And the implementation of the hydraulic fracturing rule will be no different. We are actively working with many states and tribes that have standards in place for hydraulic fracturing to evaluate potential variances from various aspects of the BLM rule. These discussions will continue as we work closely with states and tribes to ensure successful implementation. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, the BLM's rule establishes common sense standards that are essential to protecting our shared environment while also making sure that we have robust energy development in this nation. I appreciate the time.